up in the Himalayas is a place they call the land of the thunder dragon. The tiny mountain kingdom of Bhutan, the last Shangri-La, one of the more pristine places on the planet.
In a world of despots and dictators, it sounds like the stuff of fairy tales. A remote, almost mythical land where a king gives up absolute power to bring democracy to his people and his government remains free of the taint of corruption. This is the remote Himalayan kingdom of Bhutan. In recent years, this once secluded civilization has opened itself up to the outside world, to tourists, technology and television. The Bhutanese are determined to hasten slowly to maintain their unique Buddhist culture in the face of 21st century rapid globalisation.
The national stadium in the capital, Thimphu. It might be Saturday, but school children sporting national dress are being put through their paces. It's a full dress rehearsal for a parade to mark the birthday of Bhutan's revered and much-loved dragon king, Jigme Singye Wangchuck.
He is our everything. He is our father. He is our, so to say, everything. And for the youngsters think that king is everything for them.
The king constantly travels throughout Bhutan, meeting and mixing with his people. Rarely are his visits accompanied by public fanfare. Back in 1999, an obvious exception. Thousands of the king's loyal subjects turned out to celebrate his silver jubilee, 25 years on the throne. While the king embraces technology and the modern media for his people, he personally evades cameras and microphones. Royal interviews are rare. We couldn't persuade him to break with tradition.
Television, the internet, darile kotsuk nani degi, shungda miselu, pen bombera, tosubigi rewayu, te ngayana misami semgai, te taringinale, tendegi, tashteleyu.
Bhutan's capital, Thimphu, a city of close to 50,000 people, keeping pace with their king's grand vision for the country.
This was a row of single-storied, beautifully designed Bhutanese traditional houses.
Here, Tshewang Dhendup is highly regarded as an author, broadcaster, poet and patriot. In keeping with his fellow Bhutanese, he believes his king has made this country what it is today.
The fact that we are a nation of less than 1 million people, we survived so many superpowers, we are sandwiched by 2 billion peoples, literally. And yet today we are an independent kingdom with a very strong policy that preserves our environment, that we still have our culture alive. I mean, we have one person to thank.
The Dragon King came to the throne as a teenager 30 years ago. Up until he succeeded his father, Bhutan was largely isolated from the rest of the world. Now the king has 4 royal wives, all sisters. He's the father of 10 children and the quirky concept of gross national happiness.
His Majesty stated that gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. I consider it to be a philosophy more than an economic mantra or a development mantra, but a more philosophy. I mean, it's sort of, I think, stipulates the vision where happiness is the end goal and everybody is working towards it.
Most Bhutanese find everyday happiness in the ancient tradition of their national sport. Or what some might call their national obsession.
It's not only an obsession, it becomes a dangerous obsession. I mean, people fight. I mean, it becomes a serious affair. I mean, it is total entertainment, because it is not only shooting the arrows and hitting the target. It has humor, it has satire, it has sarcasm.
Such hijinks keep the crowd on the range enthralled for hours at a time. The nation's most famous archery aficionado, the king, isn't here, but Prime Minister Yeshi Zimba occupies pride of place in the VIP stand. Bhutan's archery contests, like Test cricket, can go on for days at a time, and this one did. Patience is merely one of many virtues that underpins this nation's steady-as-she-goes modernisation.
It's a development philosophy which places people at the centre of development, a very holistic approach where we look at not just the material needs but also the spiritual needs of people. And I think we're quite well on our way to achieving this.
Today, a celebration to greet the arrival of a new Thunder Dragon, a gleaming Airbus to boost the tourism trade. It's a milestone for a nation that's renounced isolation and begun reaching out to the world beyond these mountains. And it wouldn't be Bhutan without a touch of age-old Buddhist pomp and ceremony. Back in the 60s, you needed a royal invitation to visit. These days, a passport and plane ticket will do. Tourism is already Bhutan's second biggest earner. Its unique culture and traditions attracting the well-heeled outsider. It's not for backpackers. The government charges in excess of $250 a day. In keeping with tradition, the inaugural flight arrived on a day and at a time chosen after consultation with an astrologer.
Well, it's part of our Buddhist culture as well as our social requirements that anything we do, we choose a good day, and especially for such an important step in aviation.
The wilderness is Bhutan's major asset. The biggest money spinner, hydroelectricity. Almost half the country's revenue comes from the sale of what they call white gold to India. Rich in biodiversity, 70% of Bhutan is covered in forest. It's one of the few places in the world that can actually boast an increase in forest cover.
How many times have you done this?
It's my third time. Some trips too busy to get up to the tiger's nest, but it's always worthwhile.
Does it take it out of you?
Hey. Not as fit as I used to be.
Leading a group from Australia is former Deputy Prime Minister Tim Fischer, a man renowned for leading journalists on long walks in the bush.
Are they good?
He's been visiting Bhutan since the 1980s, first as a politician, but these days as a lover of the great outdoors.
Behold.
Today's climb is to get a glimpse of the most famous monastery in Bhutan, the Tiger's Nest.
But tourists are not allowed ultimate entry into the monastery. It's a very sacred site.
This is one of the jewels in the crown, is it?
It is the ultimate icon Buddhist monastery of Bhutan. It was burnt down a few years back, but very carefully reinstated to its brilliant dimensions. A bit more gold perhaps than the last time I saw it.
How hard is it going to be for Bhutan to preserve this kind of natural heritage if they allow in thousands of tourists?
Well, I don't think we're going to see golden arches on the tiger's nest, and I'll be very cranky if we do, but we won't.
Tim Fisher is a friend of the king, though not even he won a royal audience this time round.
This king leads on the front foot. No Swiss bank accounts, no Lear jets, lives in a log cabin. He's a very humble man, very modest man, married to 4 sisters, kids by all 4 sisters. Immediately people will think, well, he must be some form of playboy. He's in fact anything but.
And I see him as my king, and if my king has 4 wives who happen to be sisters, it's his choice.
So it's not a matter that his subjects have any debate about?
I mean, why would we? Why would we have a debate on it? We would have a debate if there was riots on the street. We would have a debate if our people were going hungry. We would have a debate if our forests were being exterminated. I mean, we respect our king's choice.
For Bhutanese, challenging the motives of the king is tantamount to treason. They're still coming to terms with his decision to share power.
Here in Thimphu, the capital, is Bhutan's parliament, the National Assembly. It has around 100 or so members, including a dozen women. There are no political parties, no opposition and no independent MPs. It does, however, have a Prime Minister and a group of ministers who, together with the King, rule the country. At the moment, they're drafting a constitution. It's Bhutan's first, and it's due to come into operation sometime in the next year or so.
In the future, Bhutanese will vote for their politicians in free elections. For the time being, though, they've got government-appointed MPs like Dorji Bida, a single mother and former civil servant. She's represented these villagers and farmers for the past 6 years. Today, she's reporting back on decisions made in the National Assembly and to hear what people want next.
I think it's very important. It's very important because that is the only level where our public can reach over there and speak out what they have in their mind and what they want the rights to be done by the governments or the ministries.
It may look like a golden land of plenty, but life at the grassroots is gruelling. Less than 10% of Bhutan is arable. The majority of Bhutanese are subsistence farmers, performing back-breaking work in the field for hours and days on end. It's a living, but for people like 48-year-old Tshewang Dhendup, it's a tough one. Working alongside Tshewang is her 25-year-old daughter. When she was growing up, there was no school in the district. It's different now for her 10-year-old twin sisters. Now, more than 90% of Bhutanese children go to school. But old traditions remain. All school children, like all citizens, are expected to wear the national dress.
With the line segment and the arc means, right? Yes.
Children are schooled in basic subjects, but here emphasis is placed on the values of living in harmony, controlling anger, overcoming jealousy and selfishness, and promoting tolerance and patience. It all reinforces the notion of gross national happiness.
That's what His Majesty had always been telling us, and we really believe in such a thing because to live in a society, we have to live in harmony. So it's just now is the right time for our kids also to learn.
The call to prayer, Bhutan style. Until the 1960s, the only schooling available was in monasteries. It's a tradition that continues. These young boys have come from all over Bhutan to be educated and ordained as monks. Karma Gaelek is the principal of the monastery. The chief patron of this Timpu monastery is Crown Prince Dasho Jigme Khesar Namgyal Wangchuk. A ceremony to formally install the young Crown Prince as the next in line prompted the biggest production ever mounted by Bhutan television. Never before has this royal rite of passage been witnessed by ordinary Bhutanese. But it's well to remember that more than 70% of Bhutanese still have no electricity, much less access to television.
We are at a stage where we have loyalty from our viewers. They are very, very loyal to us. Our transmission starts from 7 to 11, and if you went to a Bhutanese house, you would be watching BBS television.
Loyalty, royalty and the Buddhist culture that shaped Bhutan for centuries influenced the country's novel Gross National Happiness Index. In the remote Himalayan kingdom of Bhutan, a nation state is a state of mind.